Welcome to Final Approach with Chris Gregory. I am a philomath who is somebody who loves to learn things. One of the things that I've learned is that everyone has a tale to tell and a lesson to teach. From pilots to farriers to musicians to authors and creators, I'm going to explore my interests while introducing you to some amazing people. Pre-flight is complete and we have clearance, so let's kick the tires and start the fires. In the tradition of working with the best farriers in every country, I bring you Guy Karsh. This man is an Israeli farrier legend, and his work is world-class. I met Guy while I was a clinician in Germany at the LUWEX, and we hit it off immediately. He invited me to Israel to do a clinic and took me into his home like I was a prodigal son. I had a great time and saw places in the Holy Land that I had only read about. Let me introduce you to one of the world's great farriers, Guy Karsh. We are cleared for takeoff. Hello, everyone. This is Chris Gregory on Final Approach, and I am with the star of Israeli horseshoers, Guy Karsh. If you are on Facebook and see any of this man's work, you're like, wow, I cannot believe the incredible work that I'm seeing coming out of the Holy Land. I've actually worked with this man, so I know it's true. He doesn't just show you pictures of his good work, because all of his work's good. It's been such a pleasure to get to know Guy. We first met in Germany. You were my chauffeur, right?
Yeah, the LUWEX.
I went to the LUWEX conference, and just by chance, Joseph put Kelly and I in the vehicles with the Israelis, and we hit off a great start of a friendship. So, Guy, I'd like to talk a little bit about where you started. How did you become a horseshoer?
First of all, I'm very excited to be here, and it's a great honor for me to be here, Chris. Yeah, I really didn't accept that. And it was a really huge privilege that what you said right now, for me to hear something like that from a guy like you. It's a huge privilege, my friend, really.
Well, I meant every word.
I am a second generation of farrier, so I grew up in this industry from when I was really little kid until today. So that's the way I started.
Did you also ride horses, or was it just
Yeah.
shoeing? So you grew up riding as well?
Yeah. All around the industry, yeah.
Did you guys grow up in the country, or did you grow up in a city? How did that work in Israel?
No, so my father, he came from Russia to Israel when he was a little boy, and he grew up in a city. The only age is he buy the house that I live right now in the village. And we had a lot of horses around us.
And so how old were you when you moved into that house?
I was like 10 years old.
Okay. Well, it is a beautiful property. I mean, it's a little piece of heaven, huh?
Yeah, you was here, so you saw, yeah. If you asked me before if I will have a house like that from horseshoeing, I will never imagine that.
I've been so blessed in my travels that when I go see horseshoers in other parts of the world, I'm usually with the best horseshoers in that country, like yourself. And the best horseshoers in every country live like you do. They have amazing homes and beautiful gardens and nice furniture, and they live a very, very nice life. Okay, so now in Israel, you're required to be a soldier.
Yes.
When you got done with regular school, you were a special forces soldier, right?
Yeah. At the age of 18, every citizen of Israel supposed to go to the army for 3 or 3.5 or 5 years.
And so how long were you in?
3.5.
What years was that, Guy?
It was from 90 to 93.
And was that a pretty dangerous time for Israel? Did you see a lot of crazy stuff?
Yeah. Israel, it's we have also a hard time right now. It's for the soldier, it's dangerous for sure. they just stay in the place that they are very dangerous.
Yeah. Did you ever get called back up after your service was over, or?
Yeah. You need to be for reserve for 20 years. Every year, you need to go for a month to the army.
Wow.
For 20 years. But they are very sensitive. I was already farrier and I was very busy. So I did like a week and then go back home to work. And I spread my 1 month for many, many times. So it was easy for me to do it.
Oh, that's good. Because a whole month missing as a horseshoer would be hard, huh?
It's impossible, yeah. You cannot do it, yeah.
Did you shoe with your dad for the most part?
No, I was really young when he passed away. So I didn't know what I'm doing, yeah. So I just play with him a little bit around the horses. and he passed away when I was 13.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
But it was my passion. I started shoe alone around 15, when I was 15 or 16. I had my tools of my dad. I had shoes, I had everything. So I shoe for my neighbors around my house. That's the way I started. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know nothing about horseshoeing.
Now, at this time, you did not speak English, right?
Not at all.
And you told me you learned English just for horseshoeing. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, we don't have any books on Hebrew.
Right.
I really want to know and to get the information about horseshoeing. From that, I start to read books and start to learn English. It was my goal, so I did it. That's what I want to do, and I did the best I can.
So you learned English well enough that you are now sitting there doing a podcast in English. How about that? That's incredible, huh?
Yeah. And it's just from horseshoeing, huh?
Horseshoeing, a lot of times I look at the world and I can't believe what my life is like because horses have feet. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I went to Romania and I did a tour to work with some farriers there. And they don't speak any English, and I don't speak any Romanian language. But when you start working on the anvil and the forge, it's like an international language. Everybody understands each other.
Exactly.
So it's amazing. You can go anywhere in the world to communication with people without speaking, just to work on the anvil.
I agree. So do you speak other languages? Do you speak German or Russian?
No. Just Hebrew and English.
So no Russian. Your dad didn't teach you Russian.
When I was young and he speak with me Russian, but I didn't want to learn Russian, so I'm not speaking at all.
Now, Guy, you are Jewish. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Your dad was a Russian Jew.
Yeah.
And then he fled during World War II. Would that be right?
Yeah, my grandfather. Yeah, he was a survivor from the Holocaust. So after the Holocaust in 1948, they came over to Israel, to a safe place.
Do you have family stories of people in concentration camps?
Oh, yeah. My both side. Yeah, my father and my mother, both my grandfathers who was in the Holocaust, in the camps. Yeah.
Wow.
My grandfather of my mother's side, he was 13 when he ran away from the Holocaust. He was in the camp and he ran away with his uncle to the woods, and he was lived there for 2 or 3 years, and then he came over to Israel.
Wow, what a story. Did you get to know that man? Did you meet him?
Yeah. We grew up on these stories, yeah.
Wow, what a chilling thing to get to hear the story from the man that lived it.
Yeah.
Now you have a wife that was also in the service and 3 children.
3 children. I have my biggest boy, and I have another son and another daughter.
Are any of them going to be horseshoers?
Who knows? They are playing around the anvil and the forge, but I don't force them. I don't force them to do that.
When I was there, your daughter was most interested, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's still working with me in the shop, yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. And you do a lot of decorative stuff and tongs and horse heads and all that sort of stuff too, right?
Yeah, I like to play around. Everything that I do around the anvil and the forge make me a better shoer. Every second that I spend or build the tongs or something else, I think it's make me more deficiency on my forging skill. So it doesn't matter what I do, but just to walk around the forge and the anvil make you better, much better.
Yep. Now, you took me to see Uri Hoffi, who is an internationally known blacksmith. A very interesting man, Uri Hoffi is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's 87 right now. He's retired. He's not working anymore. So we have very lucky when he was here and he still can work a little bit.
And so he was a big influence on you, wasn't he?
Yeah. He is a genius. You was there, you will see what he can do with steel, huh? It's
Yes.
unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah, his mind was very creative. All of the scrap that looked like works of art, stuff that he was throwing in the scrap pile. Amazing, huh?
It's amazing. And it's everything for him is mathematics and physics. And it's really, connect to what we are doing, because horseshoeing, it's a mathematics and physics. So for me, it was like a very good match. And he's very interesting person. And I was there with Mark Caldwell once. We went to visit Uri Hoffi. Mark told me, Guy, I want to be 5 minutes in his brain. So I told him, Mark, he's a really genius. So I told Mark, if you will be in his brain for 5 minutes, you will be completely crazy.
You're probably right. Did Uri Hoffi ever do any horseshoeing, or was it all blacksmithing?
No, just blacksmithing. He don't understand nothing about horseshoeing. He all the time argue with me about the tongues that I make, that they are too heavy. We don't need that. We need to do it lighter, but he really don't understand the industry. So
right. How did you end up getting to know him? Did he have a class, or?
I know him for many, many years because he's really famous in Israel. And in the age of 40, I got a present from my wife to go to work with him for to do a class with him for 1 week. And in that 1 week, we really, really become close, me and him.
But that was like 10 years ago, huh?
10 years ago, yeah.
So now Uri lives in a kibbutz.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're an American and you don't know what a kibbutz is, maybe you could tell us about a kibbutz. Now, you don't live in a kibbutz.
I live in a village, yeah. But kibbutz, it's like a community that everybody share with everybody. Everybody work for everybody. They don't have like a salary. They take care of all the cares of the people, but it's a close community that everybody share with everybody in equal way.
So it's like socialism is what it sounds like to American.
Yeah, yeah.
And you told me that kibbutz works when they're rich and doesn't work when they're poor. Is that right?
Yeah, when they are poor, today, in those days, the kibbutz, young people, they are really lazy. They are not hard worker. So there is quite difficult situation inside of these communities, Yeah, part of them work more than the others, and, it's make like argument, like in real life.
Like in real life, yeah. Well, Uri really believed in it. Like, he thought they were the best thing ever, didn't he?
Yeah, because for him, it was very safe and he can do whatever Uri, he sold his hearts for thousands of dollars and it's go to the kibbutz. Yeah, it's not going to his pocket. Yeah. And he was really believe on that community. I don't think that he believed it was good life for him. I don't know what he think today about the kibbutz, because the kibbutz are really, really changed. Today they are selling part of the lands for investment or to build malls or houses. It's not like in the Uri Hoffi days.
It's changing.
It really changed, yeah.
Now, you also have a shoeing supply in Israel. And do you have the only one, or is there another one?
No, I'm the only one that's selling Werkman horseshoes in Israel. They really support me on everything, and also in clinics and with the hoof beat right now, it was the Werkman Black.
Or Workman Black. Would you can you explain that to us? That's a pretty interesting thing.
Yeah, it's a get analyzed, and I really believe in that because this is the future in our work. You can see with your eyes. For example, if you want to measure how high the horse lift his leg on the swing phase, or how long his stride, or how he's landing, you can measure everything about landing and mid stance. So it's very interesting, and everything affects the horse's gait. So if you put weight on him, he's move differently from if you don't have any weight on him. So for me, it's really exciting. I did a lot of measurement with this machine, and I can tell you that even a saddle or even a rider that is not sitting in the center, and you can see in numbers how he's changed his gait. So, it's easy to explain to veterinarian or to a horse owner about the situation of the horse. I think it's a very, very good tool. It's another tool in the shoeing box.
Yes. For those of you that don't know, Workman Black is a measurement system that allows a computer to more or less graph length of stride, speed of stride, height of stride, and they're attached to the feet. First time I ever saw it was with you and Jenny Hagan, who was one of the developers. We took that horse up and down the aisle, and it did stuff I didn't expect. It was not stuff that we have always said a horse's foot does. And so I was like, oh, man, I don't know if I want to know about this. This may be too much.
After I start to use the Werkman Black, or the hoof beat today. Horse shoeing is not just the shoeing, it's called the horse. It's muscles, it's tendons, it's ligaments, it's bones, it's weight, it's the weight of the rider, it's a saddle, it's a blanket. You need to complete all the whole puzzle about the horses. So it's not just horse shoeing.
And how often do you use that in your practice?
I use it quite a lot. I think I use it like 3 times a week or 4 times a week. It depends, really depends. I do a lot of flame masses.
Is this something you can charge the customer for?
For sure. They pay for that, yeah. So it's like another business.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty interesting. Have you been able to really pinpoint some treatment strategies like Omni breakover bar shoe versus a heart bar or something like that you say this made a massive change? I can really see it.
And you can see it immediately. I did the horse for a friend of mine, and he was shot a quarter horse, a reining horse, that he was consistently was injured on his lateral suspensory ligament. So he started to work, and then they take he started to lame, so he was in the stable rest for a few weeks, and then go back to work, start to lame again. It was like that for 7 or 8 months. And then he asked me to measure the horse. I will send you in later on the measurement. And you will see on the trot, on the soft ground, he really did on the swing face like a whip movement and then go back.
Okay.
And this whip movement, when I changed his shoeing to aluminum, completely gone.
So how was he shod?
He was shod with steel shoes.
Just normal.
Yeah, just normal, yeah. But you cannot see it.
Right. But the whip you're referring to is kind of like what we would consider paddling, right?
No, it's not paddling.
Or was he winging to the outside?
No, it's not paddling. In the moment before the landing, he just doing like a whip movement and then go to the landing. Yeah, it's not paddling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see before and after. And it was like after a few minutes, before and after. And it's a huge change. I think we did it 3 years ago. And the horse is still sound and working with aluminum shoe. And he's quite okay.
And that's the only change?
That's the only change. The only change.
So what do you think, like 5-6 ounces the difference? What do you think caused that?
I think weight. I don't think side weights can affect the swing face of a horse that you have huge muscles and bones. And I don't think 200 gram or 300 gram can change the movement. But weight, if it's the same weight all around the hoof, I think, yes, it can change the horse's flight.
Boy, that's an interesting one, huh?
I will send you and you will see in your own eyes.
No, I believe you. I believe you. So what about bar shoes? Have they made a big difference?
Yeah, bar shoe make a big difference on landing, on pressure of the landing. Yeah, they do a lot of difference.
And do you think a lot of times it's an improvement, or do you think the weight is a bad thing? What's your take?
It depends. You cannot put on huge horse aluminum bar shoe that you will crush the hoof capsule. I think if the horse movement or his flight hour is really normal, so I don't have any problem to leave him with a heavy bar stock or heavy shoe on. I don't think against that.
And what about when you use a rocker toe or something? Does it change your measurements a lot?
Yeah, rocker toe, roll toe, change the breakover, yeah.
All right, well, that's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Now, I did read an article you wrote one time for Florian for the European Farriers Journal about shoeing military horses, or were they police horses?
They are police horses, yeah.
And you had to do some special stuff. Can you tell us about that?
You remember, it was, I don't remember how many years ago, but they used these horses close to the Bank of Gaza, and they drop on the floor like a nail that weld like that, so like a ninja style. And when you drop this nail, so anyway, any situation, one of the point will be on top. So if a horse is coming, or a soldier, or car, so he just...
You're going to land on a nail sticking up.
Yeah, land on a nail, yeah. So what I did, like in hospital plate, that every policeman had of his 4 hooves. I made it. He had it on his bag with 2 studs, that he can take it off very quickly and he can put it very quickly. If he see that, he just go down from the horse and put them and protect his horse, and he continue to walk.
I've been shoeing since 1987, and I have never had to shoe a horse to worry about the enemy leaving spikes on the ground. What an interesting situation for a horseshoer to have to deal with.
Yeah, but I think that's what make it nice, no? That you need to yeah.
Yeah, it makes it interesting. It's one of those trades you could never learn enough of, and there's always something to think about.
Yeah. The police horses are very expensive. They're expensive for the police, it's like a walking car, it's like this is his car, this is his machine. He need that machine sound as possible.
Does the Israeli police or military use a lot of horses still?
Yeah. We have around 70 horses all over the country.
Okay.
And they are growing. They are very high level horsemen, and they keep the horses very well in a very good stable and take care of them really, really nice. And they respect the horses really good.
On geography, do you know how wide and how long Israel is? I actually have a map over here, but it's quite a small
It's
country.
Very small. I think the longest part from the north to the south, it's around 1,000, maybe less than 1,000 kilometers.
Which would be like 600 miles.
Yeah. And wide, I think so. I'm not sure. Around 600 kilometers.
Well, I am on my computer. I'm going to look at width. So whenever you guys say you have 70 horses, it makes it sound like a very small number, but that's a small country too. Do they have a Israeli army soldier that shoes those, or is it always a civilian?
No. The police horses, just me show the police horses.
Just you. So you shoe all of them?
Yeah, all of them, yeah.
All right. So this says that Israel is 420 kilometers in length and 150 kilometers across at the widest point. Yeah, that's 250 miles long and 70 miles wide, roughly, something like that. So, wow. Yeah, from an American perspective, that's a small place. You guys don't take any flack from anybody. You don't care what country wants to bother you. You're not going to take that, huh?
No.
I think if I were a politician, I would run on a platform of making every young American serve in the military for a few years. I think that's made you guys very strong.
Yeah, I think for me, it's really made me a better person. I met great people on my service. Really, I was lucky, really.
And most of the Israelis I know kind of have similar stories. They learned things that they would have never learned if they had to stay a civilian.
Yeah.
Are all the horses in one spot, or do you shoe from the north to the south?
No, to the north to the south, we have like 4 stables.
So you just go to one?
Yeah. I'm going to shoe with an helper there, so take sometimes of my shoeing schedule.
And does the Israeli government pay you well and fast, or are they hard to get money out of?
No, they're quite okay.
They're okay?
They pay me like every customer.
Oh, good.
Good. No, I'm showing the police horses also with the rubber shoe that come from Dallas, Texas, the Smooth Walker one, if you know.
Yeah.
I don't like rubber, I don't like plastic, but that's the source of the police and they like it, so I do it.
Do they wear well?
Yeah.
And do they give them good grip on asphalt and stuff?
Too much grip.
Oh, really? Are they hard to keep on? Are they hard to stay on the foot?
They keep like 6 weeks. No problem.
Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're called Smooth Walker, right?
Smooth Walker, yeah.
But they're not a Workman product.
No.
And do you sell other company products besides Workman?
No, just Werkman.
So what about nails and rasps and all that stuff?
I buy everything from Werkman. So if I need a mustard nail or derby nail, so I buy directly from Werkman.
Okay, so they will source the other stuff for you.
Yeah. They have actually a big shop in Holland, and they have everything. So whatever I need, they supply me.
Okay. And what about traveling outside of Israel? I know that traveling can be quite difficult for you, but do you still go to Germany fairly regular, or?
In the Corona time, we didn't travel anywhere. So just now we are starting to move. So I know in April, I'm going to fly to Germany.
Nice.
To the LUWEX again.
Okay.
And next year there is the spring game of Werkman. Next April.
Are you going to compete?
No, I'm not going to compete.
Guy, you should. Your work is You seem like such an American horseshoer when I look at your work. For you to have lived in Israel and get to the level you're at is just phenomenal to me. You should compete. Your shoeing is so top notch.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I compete against myself, every day. But competing is very hard. So you need to be in shape, and I don't have too much time to practice, I practice after I showing all day. So I'm coming to my show. I force myself to practice all the time. I think that we need it. I need it. I need it to myself. This is my fun. This is my passion. I don't have another hobbies. This is my hobby.
Right. Well, for me, it was always easier to practice if I had a contest coming up. But you used to just do it to get better, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have any advice for a young horseshoer?
Work with somebody that is older than you, have more experience than you. Because I see a lot of farriers that's coming from schools, and they don't do that. They are starting to shoe horses. They do a lot of mistakes. We all make mistakes, but if I do mistakes, so people have more forgiveness for me, yeah.
Right.
But if a young person do mistake, no mercy for him, huh? So yeah. I think it's important. It's important to go to work with a more experienced farrier than what you are.
Now, do you have a helper?
I have two helpers, yeah.
Okay, so every day you have two with you.
No, every day I take one, yeah, but I have two helpers, yeah.
All right, so you alternate. Now, are there any certifications or any of that sort of stuff in Israel?
No, all the certification that people did in the schools that they work, so this is the only certification.
Do you have any? Have you got your AFA certified or anything?
I don't have.
Do you think that certification will ever come to Israel?
I think so. I think it's important. I hope so.
Well, I guess you could start that.
Maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah. Well, we're talking now, so we could talk about it now. The FITS exam, I talked to you about that at one time, right? That's something I've kind of stepped back a little bit. Guys like Robbie Miller and Emilio Giannotti and Fabio Furquim, and some of those guys are so motivated. Oh, and all the Australians, Kim Broad and Bob Sim. I think that they would be thrilled to help you do something in Israel if you ever had any desire.
Yeah, so maybe we will do something, because I need to talk to other colleagues to see what their opinion, because I'm not alone here. Huh?
Yeah.
My opinion, it's my opinion, but in the end, you need a team to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
I cannot do it just on myself. Yeah, so.
Do you have a association in Israel?
No, we don't have. It was, and there is like a lot of politic inside, so it fell apart.
So it dissolved.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
It was like 1.5 years.
Oh, so not long.
No.
And so were you the president or anything?
I did not was part of that. They keep me outside.
Yeah. And how many farriers are in Israel, Guy?
I think right now around 100.
Do you know what the horse population is?
We have like between 50,000 to 70,000 horses. We don't know exactly the numbers.
Right. The same here. If there's 100 full-time farriers, there's plenty of work, huh? You don't hurt for work.
I don't think all of them are full-time farriers.
Right.
Most of them, they are part-time, but yeah.
Now, do you take new customers?
I did today.
You did?
Yeah, today. I took like 12 horses, but I didn't do it for a long, long time. I'm showing for my clients for around 20 years.
Right.
If I take a client, so just orthopedic cases once in a while, but I didn't took a new clients for a long, long time, and I did it today.
And how did it feel?
Strange, because I need to work harder. Yeah. Yeah.
So why did you take the new customer? What made you decide to go ahead and say yes? So the price was right.
Yeah. I was working very hard, and I didn't have any balance on my life. So raise my price. Like every year I raise my price to where I right now. With that system, so I can, lose some customers for time to time to get more balance to my life, to be in my shop, with my family. I'm running also the shop now, so I need time for the shop. So it was good for me, that kind of system.
You don't have to tell me what you charge, but do you know what the average horseshoer charges to shoe a horse in Israel?
I think around $120.
Okay. And so how much is that in shekels?
In shekel, it's around between 400 to 500 shekel.
And so and that's still your currency is a shekel, right?
Yeah.
$120 a horse. That's probably on the low end for our average in the U.S., I think. But the cost of living, do you think your cost of living is high there or?
Very high and very expensive. I think that the wholesaler should charge much more.
Okay.
Everything is expensive here.
Yeah, and your tax load is quite heavy, is it not?
For me to buy a car, I need to pay double than what you pay because everything is export to Israel. We pay like double or even triple on some of the stuff.
And how about fuel? Is fuel pretty high?
Yeah. I don't know to compare to you. You are in gallon, but the price is quite high.
So you guys buy liters. How much is a liter? So right now we're $2.80. So we're 80, almost 93 cents a liter.
So we pay for 1 liter. I pay like 9 shekel.
9 shekel.
9 shekel. It's like $3 for a liter.
Wow. Actually, my math was bad on that. So 4 goes into 28 7 times. So we're 70 cents a liter. 9 shekels would be like $3. There's 3 shekels in a dollar.
Yeah.
Wow. And you drive a big van, huh?
I changed it last year. I buy
really?
a new. Yeah. I buy a new van.
Is it the same van, same kind?
A little bit smaller. And my old van was a Ford. I buy a Mercedes.
Okay.
Mercedes Sprinter. Yeah.
Does it have room for 2 people to ride in the front or just?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must room for 2 people, at least 2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Kelly's contribution. Can you tell me how to do something? And it doesn't matter what it is. Tell me how to make olive oil or tell me how to judge camels, whatever. Tell me with words how to do something that you know how to do.
I can tell you how to make shakshuka.
Okay, let's do that.
Shakshuka, it's a kind of food that we are doing in the army. Okay. With eggs, tomatoes, we put onion, we put like garlic, a lot of garlic. We cut all the vegetables. Okay. Boil it a little bit with some oil until the tomatoes are really, really soft. And then we put the eggs. I like it very spicy. You can make it for Kelly and try it. It's very, very tasty. It's a poor food for poor people. Yeah. In the army, you don't have any sauce, so you're making food from everything. So, and you have a lot of tomatoes, onion, and eggs. So we make that.
And it's shakshuka.
Shakshuka, yeah.
Shakshuka. All right.
Shakshuka,
well, that's
yeah.
Excellent. So, Guy, if you were not a farrier, what would you have been?
Wow, I don't know. Maybe a tourist.
Tourist? How would you earn a living?
I don't know. I don't see another option for me. I think I just Austria, no.
What do you think is the most important thing for a farrier to know?
That you don't know nothing.
So just a general philosophical stance of you need to know that you don't know anything.
Yeah.
From a practical perspective, what's the most important thing to know? Would you say you need to know your anatomy more than you need to know how to trim feet? Or do you need to know how to trim feet more than you need to know how to shape a shoe? What do you think?
I think that you need everything. You need everything to shoe better. So you need to know the anatomy. You need to know how to trim. And you need to know how to fit shoes. So you need everything from everything. Yeah.
You wouldn't give one the heavier weight? You wouldn't say, if you only had to learn one thing, this would be the most important?
No, it's not one thing that's important. Anatomy is very important. To shape shoes on the anvil, it's very, very important. How to trim horses, it's very important. And I see a lot of horseshoe that, for my opinion, they are trimming too short. So keep hoof capsule. Don't cut it away.
Well, I do see a lot that shoe without knowing their anatomy and can end up with a very good business, but they just don't understand what they're doing. Do you see that in Israel?
Yeah, I see that. But they are not successful, What you mean successful? They are limited business.
Yeah, so success depends on how you define it. That's very good. But by definition, if they are making a living and paying their bills and able to live 1 month to the next and put some stuff away, from a financial perspective, they're being successful. I have seen several times where a guy is making very good money, but knowing what I know, I wouldn't let him do a horse for me. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's doing everything the same. And horses are pretty forgiving. You can have a horse get a very bad shoeing job for a long time.
But in the end, horses don't lie. So they can forgive for a long time, but in the end, something will happen.
Yep. Yeah, eventually, bad shoeing does lead to big problems. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any pet peeves?
Yes, I have many, not one.
Okay. What's number one?
Number one, I think education clients. This can make me crazy.
Did they learn too much on Google or something, or what?
Yes, kind of. Oh, I'm showing for very good customers, but when it's come to horses, they are become very, very stupid. So I tell you what I mean, they are buying the horses for a lot of money, but with a boxy foot and underrun heel. And they want to compete in high level, dressage or jumping or whatever. And the risk for injury is so high that this horse, I don't think that even I can bring him to compete one here. And this is making me crazy because you speak with people, you try to make them understand, but they don't understand nothing, really.
Are they buying these horses without your approval or without you seeing them?
Yeah. Most of my horses, they are export. Yeah. So they buy from Italy, from Holland, from Belgium, from all over. Yeah.
And then you got to deal with that.
Yeah. I need to deal with that. Yeah. And, they send me some pictures, some x-ray, and I'm telling them, don't buy this kind of animal. But they really don't really listen. I had a client, she told me, I know that the horses, you have a upright foot and underrun heel, but he's very cute. So I told her, you don't buy a cute horse. You want to compete, You want to compete for a long time. You buy a horse for a lot of money and with a very poor conformation. So what you expect?
But she looks cute.
Yeah, but he looks cute. Yeah, he's a cute horse. Yeah. You can deal with that.
And so were you able to fix that horse and make it go?
No way. I'm not Jesus.
Well, when I went to Israel, Guy you set up a tour of the whole country. We ate on the Sea of Galilee. We went to Capernaum, toured Jerusalem, and Guy said, I'm not a Christian, but I love Jesus.
Yeah, I think he's really interesting person. If you ask me what a hysterical person that I will want to meet, I think Jesus. I think he was very, yeah. He was, look what he did,
Yeah. But you don't really have a faith, right? Like
No.
You're not a practicing Jew or a practicing Catholic or a practicing Christian.
No.
Which is, for me as a Christian, the Holy Land was just, that trip is a trip that we talk about all the time. And to live there is just, I can't even imagine. It was really something.
I had the opportunity to bring you to Israel, so thank you that you accept my my invitation.
Well, you're always invited to come to the Heartland. We would love to have you here.
I will
You
come.
should.
Yeah, I will surprise you.
I'll keep looking down the driveway. I guess the last thing I'm going to ask you is if you could be remembered for one thing, whenever your time is done, what do you want to be remembered for?
Wow. I don't really know, but I try to do my best to my family, to the horses that I show, to my customers. I think that also I change a little bit the industry of the horse showing in Israel.
I'd say you have, you've been like the father of horseshoeing in Israel.
Thank you, but I don't think so. But I hope that they remember that. Who knows?
All right. Well, Guy, I feel so lucky to get to spend this time with you and get you on this podcast. I truly hope you come to the Heartland. I'd like to get you on the anvil again.
For sure, we will contact each other.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we do pretty regular. I've had a lot of Israeli students, so I'm always talking to you about them.
Yeah. They are doing well. They are doing well in Israel. Yeah. I really believe in your program. So I think your program, it's like a army system. So, and they prepare the horse show really, really good to the real life,
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, we try hard.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, brother, I hope you have a wonderful 2023, and thank you very much.
Thank you for the pleasure.
My son Cody has always had a mind that works in an engineering mechanical way that allows him to solve problems that some people, like me, don't even know exist. His fuller is a perfect example. I've been making shoes since 1990 and have used just about every type of creaser there is out there. Some drive well, some don't, but to me they were all pieces of metal on a handle with an end to hit and a sharp end to make the crease. Cody started playing around with the geometry and heat treating of his fullers, and it was amazing how I can crease with one of his tools with a lot less effort. It takes 3 passes with another brand, Cody's will make it in 2. Well, I don't know how he did it, but I do know that his tools work with precision and accuracy that many others don't, allowing me to do a better job because they have a quality that I can count on. From his punches to his tongs, you'll not find a better tool to make your life as a farrier easier. Check out his line of tools at CodyGregoryLLC.com.